Canada, then the Panama Canal. Now Donald Trump again wants Greenland. Our next report tries to explore why the U.S. president-elect is hitting at an American territorial expansion.
Eric Trump's post on X features his father, Donald Trump, humorously depicted as buying Canada, Greenland, and the Panama Canal through Amazon. But the joke isn't humorous to America's neighbors. In a series of statements that have sent diplomatic shockwaves, President-elect Donald Trump is outlining an expansionist vision that would dramatically reshape North America's political map. His ambitious territorial agenda now encompasses Greenland, Canada, and the Panama Canal, marking what could be the most dramatic American expansion attempt since the 1867 Alaska Purchase. Trump has slammed the fee imposed on American ships and has suggested that Washington should demand control of the canal be returned.
The United States is the #1 user of the Panama Canal, with over 72% of all transits heading to or from U.S. ports. Think of that. So we built it. We're the ones that use it. They gave it away. Considered one of the one of the great wonders of the world. The Panama Canal opened for business 110 years ago and was built at huge cost to the United States, and it really is big when you consider the lives and the treasure, the equivalent of $1.2 trillion today. You don't hear those numbers.
Panama's president rejects the threats of Trump. The people of Panama are calling the idea crazy.
I think it's completely crazy. It's a statement from a totally unbalanced person because the canal is Panamanian and they have used it enough during the years that the canal was under their control.
It would be unfair for him to make the decision alone to take over the canal again. I truly believe that we Panamanians can continue to manage the canal and move the country forward without any obligations to other countries.
Trump has renewed calls for the US to purchase Greenland, a semi-autonomous Danish territory covered mostly in ice. Greenland's strategic location in the Arctic and its reserves of rare earth minerals have made it a focal point for Trump, especially as melting ice opens new naval and commercial routes. Trump argues that American control over Greenland is crucial for national security and economic growth. But Greenland isn't the only target. Trump has taken aim at Canada, repeatedly suggesting that the US should annex its northern neighbor. On social media, he has referred to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau as Governor Trudeau. He even floated the idea of making Canada America's 51st state, sparking outrage in Ottawa. These territorial ambitions are causing unease both domestically and internationally, raising questions about sovereignty, diplomacy, and global stability. Critics warn that such moves could provoke serious geopolitical conflicts, while Trump supporters praise his vision of expanding American influence. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
For more on this, we have with us Eugene Craig III, former Vice Chair, Maryland Republican Party Chair of the Black Republicans for Harris. He's joining us from Washington, D.C. Thank you so much for joining us on WION. President-elect Donald Trump has said that he wants the Panama Canal back. What are your thoughts on that?
Look, we gave it back to Panama during the treaty that was executed in 1999, that was signed during the Carter administration. And look, we don't have a right to their sovereign land the same way they wouldn't have a right to our sovereign land. Donald Trump has surrounded himself with people that are giving him these crazy ideas that, we could just go back and, take Panamanian land or the Panama Canal. And it just doesn't work that way. And two, it'd be morally wrong. And three, it will cause literally probably a world war between us and the Latin world and South American world. So the thing is this: these crazy ideas that are being fed to Donald Trump by the people he surrounded himself by because the guardrails aren't there that were there in the first term. They're just going to keep coming, and hopefully, they start and end on Truth Social.
Okay, it's not just Panama, the Panama Canal. Despite being refused by the Greenland Prime Minister, that Danish territory will never be for sale. Why is Donald Trump bidding to buy Greenland? What's the reason for that?
Well, Greenland's not for sale, but the thing is this: Greenland does have critical minerals that are embedded beneath the ice layers, and as global warming as our planet is heating via global warming, some of these ice layers aren't ice layers anymore. But that doesn't mean that Donald Trump can just take the American military or just deem it that it's American now, right? And this is something that is a rehashed idea. He floated this during his first term, and people slapped it down like, hey, the world community, international relations, trade doesn't just work like that. You can't just go grab sovereign land. And he wants to operate the same way Vladimir Putin is currently operating in Ukraine, the way President Putin annexed Crimea, among other things. So one more time, Donald Trump has these advisors around him that are just like, at this point in time, they're operating as if he's already a lame duck president and just trying to do whatever crazy thing comes to mind. And I really just hope a lot of these ideas really just start and end on social media, because he actually tries these things. He may actually end up impeached, because you just can't just take the American army and abuse, the world's strongest, greatest fighting force to go and, just capture a country already established.
All right, very interesting. A lot of people say that this is a negotiating tactic before coming into office. There are some things that he wants to negotiate with these countries. We'll have to wait and see. It was a pleasure having you on, and a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you.
Appreciate it. Likewise.